Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon.
Hi, everybody. Glad to see people flowing in.
The floodgates are open.
Right.
As you guys are coming in and joining us, feel free to drop in the chat where you're joining from, what industry you're in, and we'll get started here in just a minute. Hopefully everybody had a good lunch and we're ready to learn.
We may be catching some Pacific timers that are maybe either eating lunch now or eating lunch afterward. Right, exactly. Yeah, caught them in between.
Caffeine or food, one of the two.
Right, yeah, all of the above.
Looks like we still got people coming in, so we'll give people just maybe another minute or so to get in and then we'll get started.
Hopefully everyone can see. I put a little message in the chat. So again, feel free to pop over there. If you guys have any questions, you can put them there. Any comments, etc. Feel free to share. This is intended to be interactive. So. Put my phone on silent.
All right, it looks like majority of people are in here. I got about 2 after. You want to go ahead and kick it off, Matt?
Yeah, let's get it started. All right, well, first of all, welcome everybody. So happy to have you all here. Just to start, just wanted to, for those that may not be super familiar with Franklin, just tell you a little bit about who we are. We were founded in 1922 as a commercial printer, so we are actually celebrating our 100-year anniversary this year, which we're super excited about. And we merged. We were a commercial printer up until 1996, and in '96 we actually merged with Digitrans, which was a local data and direct mail company, and really hyper-focused at that point and for the last 26 years on direct mail and data management. And since that time, we've really become one of the nation's most innovative providers of what we call data-empowered direct marketing. And I think what we're going to talk about here today really kind of speaks to that, quintessentially. And we do have an intense focus on quick turn, heavily through automation and production efficiencies, which I know a lot of you have experienced with us. And another thing we are super proud of is that we are a nationally certified women-owned business. So just a little bit about us. And so for today's webinar, what we're going to cover today, really kind of best marketing practices, successful actions, things you can do to really take your marketing to the next level. Today's direct mail, trends in direct mail, and how the omni-channel approach really applies to that. And then, about the last 15 minutes we'll save for questions and answers. Again, feel free to pop those over in chat at any point while we're going through this subject matter, and we'll kind of cover that with you guys. And then at the very end, we'll actually have a special offer for all of you as a thanks for joining us. And so with that, I'm going to turn the mic over to Alex Saunders, our direct mail product specialist. Thanks,
Hello,
Alex.
everyone. Thanks for joining us. I am the Amplify Direct Mail Product Specialist here at Franklin, and we've got some really exciting stuff to show you today. Maybe some of these things will be new. Maybe some of these will just be, a reiteration of things that, you guys already know. And when it comes to marketing, half the money you spend on advertising is wasted. The trouble is you just don't know which half. I'm sure if we were all in a room that at some point during your business career, you can relate to that statement in some way. Marketing can be very challenging, from generating quality leads, generating enough leads, budget, resources, even down to the right strategy. There's so many things that you can do, and it becomes cumbersome, and it really is a full-time job. So the purpose of today is to talk about some successful marketing actions, not just in the direct mail world, but just in marketing in general. But the first thing that we have to understand is really consumer behavior. We've got to sort of take our business and our marketing hat off just for a minute and just remember that we're all human and we're consumers. So it's important that we understand how things have shifted given the past year, now 2 years that we've been sort of in this new world, if you will. And it may seem basic for a lot of us, but it's a good reminder and a refresher that really helps connect the dots when we discuss the strategy of things and why we're doing things a certain way. And the biggest thing is to understand that consumers, we see over 4,000, somewhere between 4,000 and 10,000 marketing messages a day between every channel: direct mail, radio, TV, billboards, emails, you name it. We're constantly being solicited by brands and organizations. You have to understand that you're going to get tired of your own marketing message well before your end recipient does. You send out a direct mail piece one time, or you do one email, or you throw up some Google ads. You have no idea if your end recipient is even seeing it, noticing it, absorbing it, or acting upon it. So just rewind for a minute and remember how saturated, how inundated we all are, which is very important that you make your message stand out. You put your business in the forefront of their mind. You have to be very repetitious with what they're doing because, again, people are inundated. And with the digital world that we're in, attention spans are short and email inboxes are overflowing. I mean, think of your personal email inboxes, how many emails you have that are unread that you just simply can't touch. The average human attention span is 8 seconds. It's probably even less than that at this day and age. We're busy people. We're multitaskers. We are glued to our devices. We have computers at our fingertips. So this really does create a digital fatigue. It's convenient for us. We have all the information at our fingertips, but again, we sort of glaze over everything that we see in the digital space. So once COVID hit, everybody shifted to digital, right? We all went to work from home. Everything is done digitally now. And a lot of people stopped direct mail. And what does that create? That creates a very, very saturated digital space. So how impactful do you think your message really is when people are seeing 5,000 of those exact same messages every day? What makes yours different? Direct mail is the only channel that you physically cannot ignore. Even if you're mailing to somebody, they have to physically walk it to the trash can if they're not interested in it. It's a tangible piece. It takes 21% less cognitive effort to process a direct mail piece in somebody's mind than it does a digital advertisement. So even though we all are in a digital world, direct mail works. Direct mail has always worked, and it's relevant now. It's more prevalent now than it ever has been. The problem is it's very difficult to track. It's an offline channel and we're in a digital world. So let's look at some of the response rates. When you compare response rates of direct mail to digital, it consistently outperforms it. When you look at the 9 to 18% response rate that direct mail has on average, you compare that to that in the digital space. You've got to do 10x the amount in the digital world than you do in direct mail. And some of you guys might be thinking, well, I've done direct mail before and I definitely haven't gotten that response rate. Well, let's look at some of those successful actions when it comes to direct mail. Did you repeat mail? Did you have the right list? What time did you send it to them? Did you have an offer? There's so much more that goes into creating a successful direct mail campaign than just slapping a design on a postcard and sending it out and crossing your fingers. 56% of people think direct marketing is the most effective form of communication than any other channel. And 92% of direct mail is actually open versus the 9% that emails are open, especially on a prospect list. So as soon as you can't justify something or quantify that it actually works, it's the first thing that you cut out when you look at your marketing budget, right? And direct mail, it's not cheap, right? You've got your postage cost in there. It's not cheap when you compare it to that of a MailChimp email or, just a couple digital ads. It is the more expensive channel, but it's the best channel. It's the channel that works, and it's really the catalyst. So what happens when you cut out your direct mail because you want to test some things and, see if you can save some money by going through another channel? Well, Nordstrom did it. Let's take a page out of their book. They stopped sending their Nordstrom notes to their loyal customers, and they immediately noticed a decrease in foot traffic and sales. They didn't realize how effective those Nordstrom physical notes were. They thought they could save money by sending them in people's emails, and they were just getting lost. So you need to be able to track and have a way to quantify what you're doing, whether it is direct mail or whether it is any other digital channel. Tracking is so important when it comes to marketing. You need to know what's working and what's not. Now, with any type of marketing, regardless whether it's a direct mail piece or, a digital ad, 90% of people are going to go to your website before they take any action. So does that mean your direct mail is not working? Does that mean your emails aren't working? No, it simply means that it's creating the reach, but 96% of those people are leaving without taking any action. And where do you guys think that they're going? They're going to your competition. They're going looking at reviews. Some of them are simply just doing nothing because we're so inundated and we're busy. People need to be reminded, and that's why repetition is so essential in the success of any direct mail campaign. 80% of those sales are going to be made somewhere between that 8th and 12th conversion. So if you're thinking you want to dip your toes into direct mail or say, hey, my campaign didn't work so well, did you repeat mail to those people? How often did you do that? Call to actions, offer, things of that nature. Consistency is key in anything that you do. So let's look at some of those options. How do we do that? What's the right strategy? You've got a multi-channel approach, and then you've got an omni-channel approach. Neither is wrong, neither is right. One is not better than the other. They're different ways that you can market. 96% of businesses use a multi-channel approach. There on the left, you can see all roads, Facebook, Instagram, direct mail, all of those roads are leading to your business, right? It's a different message, a different end recipient, but all of them are leading to your website. All of them are leading to your business. The omni-channel approach is really what we're going to talk about today. And what that does is it takes the exact same person, the exact same message, and sends them through multiple channels. That way you get that consistency, you get that repetition, and that is really a more successful strategy because you know the consistency, you know what those variables are to determine what's working and what's not. The 4 P's of marketing. You guys know your product as a business owner, as an employee, you know your price, and it's our job as marketers and as a marketing company to help you with the promotion and the place of that. Now, promotion and branding, what is that? Everybody recognizes these logos and these brands without seeing their name. And why is that? Not just because they have millions of dollars to do that type of marketing and that promotion, but they've never changed slightly. They've never changed their messaging. They've never changed the logo. They've been very consistent with it. So all of us can look at these and know what they are. Repetition is no different with direct mail. Consistency. We know what these are. We know these brands without even having to see it. So understanding that principle of marketing that all of these have in common, a billboard, a TV, a radio ad, you don't see a billboard for a day and then it's gone the next day, right? That would be insanity. Those stay up for months, sometimes an entire year. They run the same thing or a slight variation of it. Repetition is essential. Direct mail. Indirect mail, it's no different. We've all at some point received this postcard, right? They've never changed the logo. They've never changed that 20% offer. They've literally never changed the colors or the font that they've sent. That still applies with any marketing that you do, whether it's direct mail or whether it is digital. Personalization is also something that's really important. Everyone really wants to feel like they were picked out of the crowd to receive your messaging. And that's going to set you apart than somebody that's just sending a random, generic ad. Here we are, here's what we have to offer, and we're running a sale this week, right? Pick somebody out of the crowd, utilize the data that Franklin can get for you when it comes to the mailing list, the type of, fonts that they can use when they print, the type of embellishments. You can get so creative with your direct mail piece. The sky is really the limit. And 80% of consumers are more likely to do business with a company that offers personalized experiences. And we've all experienced that, right? When you go to a skincare website and they say, hey, what type of skin do you have? Or, if you're looking up golf drivers, hey, do you've got a left swing or this swing? You like to answer those questions because you want personalized experiences and recommendations. So use that data to your advantage. And content is king. Give the people what they want. Whatever your messaging is, make it relevant to those people. People respond to things and engage with things that they like. Those marketing messages are well received if they're in the market for those things. Don't mail a postcard to somebody that for a new car that wasn't looking at a new car. A dentist would never mail to somebody that was looking at dentures for teeth whitening. That makes absolutely no sense. So there is really a rhyme and a reason to the way that we do things and how we suggest you do your direct mail, because people want to see things that are relevant to them. And the biggest thing is your unique selling proposition. I would urge you, if you don't know what that is, figure that out. And I'll tell you, it's not that you have the best customer service, because everybody says that. Dig deep and find out what makes your business different. And that's the information that your prospects and even your customers want to know. For Franklin, they're a one-stop shop, right? They can offer everything under the sun. They're not just a print house, right? There's so many more things that they offer. So if you don't know what that is, just do a little bit of research, dive deep and figure out what your business's USP is. And that's what you need to tell people. And identify who your ideal customer is. 65% of marketing is who you're actually marketing to. With direct mail, don't mail a roofing postcard to people that own apartments. They don't care about that. They're not the ones making that decision. Be very strategic and specific on who you're mailing to. And if you don't know who your ideal customer is, look right in front of you, look in your database, do a reverse customer analysis, take addresses, take names, find out a median income, age range, home value, things like that. And you can actually get modeled data, look-alike lists that look exactly like your existing customers. And that is the person that you want to mail to. Don't just do the old spray and pray. It's not going to produce the response that you're looking for.
Yeah, and Alex, I was just going to mention there, that's actually, we've done some lookalike modeling for some of our customers, and they've seen some great successes when we've, again, kind of gone the opposite direction, if you will, and helped them identify who their ideal customer base is based on who's responded to them before. So that's definitely
and sometimes you think you may know who your ideal customer is, and come to find out you were totally off, right?
Absolutely.
So you've been mailing and spending money on somebody that's probably not your ideal customer and never will be your customer. You have a lot of data at your fingertips. It's how you choose to use it and what you actually do with it that makes all the difference.
Right.
The right timing. Timing is everything. Being in front of the right person with the right messaging at the right time. Create that serendipitous moment. I'm ready to buy that new X, Y, and Z right now, whether that's a new car, whether that's a new purse, whatever it is. If I'm on the website, I'm in that buying cycle. When you mail to me or when you send me that message at that exact time, that's when that message is going to be well received, and people buy things based on emotion. But how you meet that right time, right place, right time, you must be consistent, right? If you only mail once a year or every other month, something like that, you may miss that opportunity when somebody is ready to buy. But if you're continually in front of them, you'll catch that opportunity of when they're ready. And integrate your marketing. This is not about choosing one thing over another. It's not, hey, let me try this for 30 days. I'll try some Google ads. Let me try Facebook, see what that does. And you're constantly pulling it at straws, right? Trying to figure out what's going to work. Marketing is the sum of all parts, right? It's just like a diet. Whenever you work out, you eat right, you sleep, all of those things will produce a better result. You'll lose weight quicker versus just, hey, let me eat right, but I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to drink a lot of alcohol, things like that. It's the same principle that you can apply to your marketing. It's the sum of all parts. When these things are timed strategically around one another, that's when it's going to produce the optimal result. And that's really what we're here to talk about, is really the game changer of marketing, the silver bullet, if you will. For the longest time, and even still now, there was always this conundrum of, do I do print or do I do digital, right? It was always a one or the other. This is the perfect marriage between the two. This is really bridging the gap between that offline channel of direct mail that we know to work so well and the power of digital advertising. It's really bridging that gap. And it's called Amplify. It really is a direct mail enhancement tool that integrates digital technologies to deliver 8 to 16 additional touches to those same people that you're mailing to all for a fraction of the cost of a stamp. So this is really your one-stop omni-channel solution where you put a piece of direct mail in the mail, and during that same time, those people are now going to start to see that exact same message and imagery in the digital space. That creates your repetition, that creates your 8 to 16 touches where 80% of your sales are going to come into play, and it's all done automatically. The first thing that we do is we take that high quality mailing list, that cherry pick mailing list of your ideal customer. Once you've done your customer analysis, and what we do is we upload that into Instagram and Facebook, and we do social match. We find as many people on your mailing list as we possibly can, and we start to pepper them with that imagery. It's the exact same thing that they're going to receive in the mail. And the idea here is if we can warm people up, if we can show them that message a few times before they get that direct mail piece, they already have that brand recognition as soon as they get that tangible piece. And this happens the first 2 weeks of the campaign. So this is a pre-warm up, this is a prime the pump, whatever you want to call it. It's delivering more impressions to those exact same people that you're going to be mailing to. And in your dashboard, which you'll also have access to a custom portal where you'll be able to track all of these results, you'll be able to see exactly how many accounts we reached out of your mailing list, how many ads we've been able to display to those folks, and those that are actually clicking on those ads going straight to your website. The best part is they haven't even gotten that direct mail piece yet. The next thing we do is simply track your mail. You'll find out when you do direct mail, or if you're already doing it, that postage is the most expensive cost of any campaign. And it's one that we can't really control, right? It's the vehicle to get them there. But what we can do is help give you that peace of mind to show when the pieces are mailing out, predict and confirm when they do in fact hit. That way you can time those other marketing efforts a lot more strategically. Say if you're doing an email follow-up campaign, you're doing a phone call, you're door knocking if it's political season, right? You're able to better accurately do those follow-ups, not solely based on, I think the mail is going to hit on this day. It gives you that insight into when it's happening, confirm when it does, so you can deploy those efforts. Next thing is informed delivery. Informed delivery is offered for free by the USPS. So any consumer can go sign up for it. And then what you get out of that is an email every morning that you can preview what's coming in your personal mailbox that day. So think of it as a way to digitally check your mail. So in the snowstorm, in the hurricanes, you don't have to go walk to check your mailbox. Now you can see it digitally. So you know if you have a tax check coming or your credit card bill that you need to hide from your significant other, you can see exactly what's coming. Right now, 42 million people are currently signed up for this, and the average open rate is 65%, compared to an in-house list, which may yield 20 to 30% if you've got good content and a loyal following. So this is something to guarantee, especially in the prospecting space, guarantee that your message is received, it's visible, and the best part is people can actually click on the ad that's underneath their grayscale image and be driven straight to your website. So whether that's a donate, whether that's claim your free play, whether that's the admissions office, whatever your call to action is, it's now an interactive ad that somebody can click on and go straight to your website for that quicker conversion. And what you'll be able to see in your dashboard, the analytics are emails sent, opens, and of course, those that are responding. And it's important, notice that I said responding, not clicks, right? Somebody is responding to your direct mail. People respond different ways. Not everybody's going to call. Not everybody's going to text. Majority of people are simply just going to go to your website, but all of those channels lead to your website, and it is a response to your direct mail. And pre these tools, those were responses that you've never been able to quantify because they didn't call and say, hey, I got your direct mail piece. So it's a way to get more attribution to the catalyst of all this traffic, which is the direct mail. Call and text tracking are the next capabilities that we can utilize. We'll dedicate a local toll-free number to your mail pieces. That way you can more accurately track the influx of traffic that's calling in. Forbes tells us that only 20% of phone calls are actually answered properly when it comes to how did you hear about us? Did you get our direct mail piece? Things like that. So this is a way to sort of remove that human error element, and all the calls are tracked and recorded. So you as a business owner can obviously quantify how many calls are coming from that direct mail specific campaign, but you can also text. If you don't want to call, they can text offer or keyword to whatever number, and then we can automatically send them an SMS response text back. Next is online follow-up. These are your Google ads. All roads lead to your website, right? The problem is those people are leaving. They're not taking any action. So what can you do about it? follow them, follow up with them. We've all been a victim to online follow-up through the Google network. Anytime that we go to a website, we pop something in our cart, even if we're going to check out the news or the Super Bowl score. When we leave those websites, we are constantly, again, solicited by those brands or organizations, and it's relevant to us. Wayfair is amazing at this. When you put something in your cart or you're just looking at it and you leave, you notice that same couch or faucet that you were looking at, those things follow you around. And the idea is to stay in front of you, delivering those 8 to 16 additional touches to get you back to the website. And maybe you just need some free shipping. Maybe you just needed a little bit better offer. So this is your way to make sure that every single person that goes to your website, we follow up with them. What you'll be able to see in your dashboard is how many people have come to your site, how many ads we've been able to display to those folks, as well as those that are clicking, returning. And again, that's a response to your direct mail. The imagery that they're going to be seeing on Google is the exact same thing that they're getting in the mail, which reinforces that message and again, creates that brand recognition that we also desperately need. Once they get to your website, we don't just stop at Google. We also identify who those people are through social media. So if you've ever noticed, you're at work, you're searching for that new coffee maker, and then when you go home, you're scrolling mindlessly, you see that same thing following you on Facebook. Exact same concept here. We're putting that message in every channel possible, the same message, the same people, different channels, creating that 8 to 16 additional touches. And I think these stats are probably even larger by now. 1.2 billion people access Facebook daily. 69% are in the US are using Facebook. I mean, I know I personally open mine 30 times a day. It's kind of embarrassing, but get to people where they are. People are using that, whether they're in a business space, whether they're in a consumer space. And this is exactly what they're going to see. So as you can see, that message doesn't change. So what do you guys think that's going to do for your brand recognition? Up and up, right? It's not just a one-time touch anymore. And the final, probably crux of the entire Amplify platform is the lead match component. And what this does is kind of mind-blowing. All roads lead to your website, but those people leave and all we can do is retarget them in the digital space. But now we know who they are, what they were looking at, how long they were on your website, and how often they visited that page. So essentially building you the most viable prospecting list that you could ever mail to. If somebody is on your website, they're interested in your product or service, and there is nobody else better that you can mail to. There's no prospect list that Matt or I could buy for you of people that are interested in donating or coming to your organization or your school or buying XYZ product. It doesn't exist. But the people that are right in front of you, those are your lowest hanging fruit. And again, there's no better list that you can mail to than somebody that's been on your site. So now what you're going to gain is not only the attribution of your direct mail, we'll be able to tell you how many people have come to your website specifically from your direct mail list that we call a match, and leads, organic people that are on your website that aren't on your radar at all. So what we do ideally is we mail to them again. We mail to them again with personalized information. We say, hey, Alex Saunders, here's your beautiful couch. Here's 25% off and free shipping. And that we call direct mail retargeting. I'm interested in that couch. I didn't buy it. I now have free shipping and I have a better offer to push me over the edge. And that's direct mail retargeting. And our clients that are utilizing that sort of automated direct mail process are seeing a response rate of 9 to 18%. And if you haven't seen it yourself, you'd probably call me a liar, right? But it's astronomical, but it makes sense. Those are the people that are interested right now. It's not a random, it's not a cold list. It's not anybody and everybody in a zip code. It's specific to that person. It's that right time, the right message in front of them when they are in that buying cycle. And it's sort of reverse engineering how you've typically done direct mail if you've done direct mail. It's taking those people that are on your website, sending them a personalized piece, a personalized direct mail, and then getting them back to the website with a stronger offer, a stronger call to action. And just so you can see some real data, case study of a campaign that we ran for a local community college. And you know, we all can imagine what 7,400% ROI would mean to our individual businesses, right? We could all be able to justify, you know, the marketing spend on that if we were getting that type of result. And again, really, it's not about choosing direct mail over digital or this or that. It's really combining all of them, being integrated with your marketing plan and not just doing one thing, but being repetitious and consistent with this. And that's what we're here to help with. That's what the Amplify platform is aiming to do, is really take your direct mail to the next level and amplify your ROI.
Awesome. All right. So we're gonna is that Alex?
Yeah.
You're good. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of open the floor to questions. So again, if you guys have any questions as Alex has kind of presented this for you, just pop those into our chat. But before we get there, did just want to, again, we believe so much in Amplify and specifically in the lead match, because again, like Alex said, that really is the crux of the product. We would love to offer and set up a free lead match pixel for your website, just at the very least, so you can see how many leads you're getting on your website, and then again have the opportunity to purchase those leads, and again see what that product can do for you. And again, we can do direct mail retargeting. Again, I kind of spoke in the beginning about us being so heavily focused on quick turn and automation, and we can set that up for you. We are perfectly matched for direct mail retargeting because we can turn postcards or self mailers around for you so quickly based on the data that we can pull from that lead match pixel.
And timing really is the key on that direct mail retargeting, system, if you will. Somebody is in the market right now to look at a car. They may not be in the market tomorrow or the next day, or even surely a week or a month out. So the sooner that you can identify who those people are on your site, what products or services specifically that they're looking at, and turn that direct mail piece in a matter of 24 to 48 hours, that's really going to produce the optimal result. We don't want to wait a week. We don't want to wait a month, because the longer it goes out, the longer they could have potentially purchased that new car. Or, if somebody's got a leaky toilet or a leaky faucet, they need it fixed right now. They don't need it fixed in a month unless, they didn't have somebody good come fix it. But you guys get the idea. Timing really is of the essence, and Franklin is set up for that automation.
Yeah, and you mentioned Wayfair earlier, kind of speaking to the digital ad space. So they're also very, very strong with direct mail retargeting.
Yes.
I've been a recipient of said direct mail piece and acted on it and made the purchase, because again, they got that data, they sent me the follow-up, it was personalized, it had a picture of the product I was looking for. They had kind of bumped the offer up a little bit, gave me an offer code, and I used that offer code. And again, so as a consumer, it worked for me. So
it really sets them apart.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, if this is something you're interested in, definitely reach out to your account rep and they can help. We can get that set up for you. So we do have some questions. So first, how long does the campaign run for?
Good question. So every campaign runs for 30 calendar days. All 7 technologies on the Amplify platform will run from the day that your direct mail goes out. And if you think about it, direct mail really does have a shelf life, right? It goes into the home and it really only stays there somewhere between 7 to 10 days. So you need those other touch points throughout that 30-day period. And after that 30 days, we need another catalyst. We need something else to get them re-engaged again. So ideally, you mail every 30, 45 days, but the Amplify platform specifically will run in unison around that direct mail for a 30-day period.
Awesome. All right, the next question. For Google ads and social media ads, are the ads run as Franklin on behalf of our company, or does it appear as our company running the ads?
So it will look like a sponsored ad, like your company, XYZ company, is running that ad to those recipients. So it doesn't say Franklin on behalf of XYZ company. It looks like a sponsored ad, just like the ads that you see in your newsfeed now. So in order to do that, what we need on the back end is you just need to add Franklin sort of as a friend request on Facebook, right? You need to add us on the back end of your Facebook Business Manager, so that way we can run those ads on your behalf. Great question.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. Next question. Do we have to use you guys as our direct mail vendor
to run the Amplify platform?
I believe so.
I'd assume so. Yeah.
Right.
So we can run it ad hoc. We would never, if you're happy with your provider, I wouldn't say, don't rock the boat, don't fix it if it ain't broke, right? But if there's things more that you're looking for, if there's a way to simplify it, it does make it a little bit easier and smoother to just run everything in-house. But we can absolutely talk about ways that you can amplify if somebody else is doing your direct mail. We'd love to have that opportunity to have a conversation with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Another question, and this is actually one that I've gotten a few times. So can I use video as my digital ad?
Yes, absolutely. And I would actually highly suggest it. What we're seeing on our end is video is pulling such a better engagement than that of a static ad. And again, it goes back to the attention span. If we see something over here in the distance, it's moving versus a static image, our brain is automatically going to go to that moving image, right? Because it's captivating. So if you do have video content, highly suggest using it on those social channels, Facebook and Instagram. Google is still sort of your digital billboard, if you will. Use video anywhere that you can. It's more captivating, but static images are still better than not doing anything at all.
And in kind of a follow-up that I've gotten before that I thought was worth mentioning or kind of asking was, does the video need to be professionally produced?
Oh, golly, no.
Right.
No. And sometimes those ones that are, I'm not saying the selfie in your car type thing, but it doesn't have to be this big production, right? Because again, people are human, right? You don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars getting all this professional footage. Do something simple. Hi, I'm so-and-so running for X, Y, and Z. Hi, we're X, Y, and Z nonprofit, and we'd love you to consider donating us today. It's so much more personal, right? Just remember that everybody's human, right? You don't have to get crazy with what you're doing, but also don't do some backwood footage.
Okay, next question. What is the match rate on the Lead Match Pixel?
So it's not 100%. It's never going to be 100% because we have a few, I don't want to say holes in the matrix, but if you think about it, people logging in, on their cell phone from Starbucks. Starbucks is you're pinging off a Starbucks IP address. And without sort of going down the rabbit hole of how Lead Match works, we use IP address, device ID, and cookies that are enabled on that device. So through all three of those data points, if we're able to accurately identify our residential address with 95% certainty, that's who we're going to identify. Now, I'd say in my time seeing this Lead Match technology that it floats somewhere between 60 and 70% match-up rate. Lowest I've seen it be, about 40%, but, depending on what URLs you have it on, again, depending on if somebody's on a VPN, it will fluctuate. But again, be happy to have a more in-depth sort of technological, chat with you about how the Lead Match works. There's quite a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, it's really kind of incredible, honestly. The engine is it's really impressive.
We can go down the rabbit hole for days.
100%. Okay, next question. For a nonprofit, how quickly does the direct mail retargeting need to occur in order to be effective in using Lead Match?
So, I mean, the quicker, the better. But it really does depend on what you're promoting and whether it's a dated event, whether it's an ongoing appeal. It really just depends. I mean, it's better to send it out eventually than not at all. But the sooner that you can get back in front of somebody, the more likelihood, the probability of them still being in that buying cycle or that giving cycle, the better. Definitely don't wait a year, right? If you get it to them 6 months versus a year, 6 months is going to be better. But ideally, if you can turn that piece somewhere within 24 to 48 hours or at least a week. And how we're doing this is, let's come up together with, some template or some shells, if you will, of those designs, those basic designs and what they would look like. So that way, as soon as somebody hits, we buy those leads and we mail to them. And it's really an automated process that you don't really have to put a lot of thought into.
Right. And again, the beauty of us being able to turn those around quickly is that as far as time to market goes, even if there's, maybe it's based on, you sort of letting it build up a little bit, so you will get a sizable chunk to be able to mail, we're going to turn those around very, very quickly. So from that standpoint, we're definitely keeping that time to market, as low as we possibly can, because we're going to be able to turn it around very quickly once we retrieve those leads. And this actually interesting. So next question, can we use the Lead Match via Franklin Fast? And it says Franklin Fast Shells as the follow-up direct mail piece of Franklin Fast Automation, which is our automated direct mail platform. So again, absolutely, I think Franklin Fast Automation platform is ideal for this because again, if we can set up an automated template and again, we're getting that data is in the same format every time. We can use, again, the URLs that we receive again, and we can build, work with you to build business logic that, indicates or, uses different verbiage or different imagery based on the pages that they visit, et cetera. So we can absolutely, honestly, it's kind of a slam dunk, perfect match fit for that. So, and again, if it's a matter of shells versus, again, we're running so much digitally these days that, the beauty of that versus shells is that you have, immense flexibility to change things on the fly, or when you see that something's working better than others, you're not stuck with some shells necessarily. But again, we have the ability, if we've automated it, to kind of have that just be a set it and forget it, type situation, which again is a win-win, I think, for everybody. Next question is the email system. And again, I think we're talking about Amplify. Is the email system an internally built system by Franklin, or is it through a third-party integration?
So is that more the Amplify as a whole, or the emails that are coming from Informed Delivery? I'm not sure I'm clear on the question.
I would guess the Amplify system, which again, I mean, and the Amplify system utilizes several different third parties. I mean, again, we're the Amplify system, so she's clarified, is utilizing integrations with Google, with the Google Ad Network, with Facebook, with Instagram. So again, it's sort of a web of interfaces, if you will. Correct me if I'm wrong, Alex. I mean, you're the expert here, but
yep. You're correct. And if you are currently utilizing the amazing portal that Franklin offers, this is not replacing that. They're used, side by side. So you'll have access to both of those, and everything is run through Franklin.
Right. Okay. No, you're welcome. Got a little thanks over there.
Yes.
Yes. Any other questions?
Yep, really, really great questions. We wanted to thank you, of course, for spending your afternoon with us. We'd love to hop on one-on-one calls with you guys to discuss how we could integrate this, how, direct mail automation, what that specifically looks like for you. Given that we're still sort of early in the year, automating all of your marketing, sort of taking that off of your plate. That way you can focus on your business model and what you need to do. Automation is really the key. So we'd love to have those strategy conversations with you and set up these lead match pixels, so that way you can, capitalize what is literally right in front of you that's already on your website, capture those lowest hanging fruits and turn that ROI.
And the great thing, and we do have one question, looks like is on its way in. So,
yes.
While we wait for that, I was going to mention, the great thing about Amplify and the way we work with you on that is that, we don't just set up the campaign and then sort of leave you to kind of figure it out yourselves. We work with you along the way. We hold your hands. We set that, especially that first campaign, up with you, and we'll schedule, that's part of our process. With that first campaign, we'll schedule a dashboard review with you after first 2-3 weeks, and again, kind of walk you through all those components, so you can ask questions. We can kind of reiterate what all of these numbers mean, what you can do with that information, et cetera, and really kind of walk you through that, because again, we want to make sure that you're making the most of your investment. So again, it's a very cooperative process, and we work with you, kind of throughout that whole cycle. All right. Another question, if I'm already marketing with social media, how is this going to be different?
I would say good. I'm glad to see that you're utilizing the power of those social media channels.
Yep.
Biggest thing with Amplify is that we are not overtaking or replacing anything that you're doing in the digital space. If what you're doing is working, continue to do that. Don't ever stop. But if it's not, then maybe let's go back to the drawing board and see how we could save you time, save you money. But the most important thing is that result, right? A lot of us that are more savvy can do some of these things a la carte, but you also have to think, I'm doing that. What is my time worth? And is it actually producing the result that I need? So what you're doing and what we're doing could be two totally different things, right? Is it in unison? Is it timed all around when that direct mail piece is going out? And are those people that you're reaching through social media, most of the time, those are people that are liking, sharing, already kind of in your business bubble, if you will. The people that we're trying to reach here, typically prospecting, right? And even your existing clients, right? It's not going to be the same message, the same imagery, right? And everything is in one dashboard where you can seamlessly log in there and see how all of these things are working towards one goal. But biggest thing is, I don't want to replace anything that you're doing, right? Continue to do that. This is simply focused on amplifying your direct mail and those recipients that are going to be receiving that direct mail piece.
Awesome.
Great question.
Yes. Let's see, we've got one thing. Okay, so we've covered that one in the Q&A. So I think there's no other questions. I think we're good.
We're good. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. We appreciate it. We hope you learned some things that you can immediately have some takeaways on. Have a great week, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye.